Right, welcome everyone to Sonic Story No MSG. My name is Gassler, and this is going to be my submission run for the PuwP Marathon. Alright, so this game, it has a reputation on it. It's known for being the absolute best Sonic game, which I wholeheartedly agree with because that is true. What you will be seeing in this speedrun are things that you will never see in other speedruns, and rightfully so. This game is unbelievably broken, which makes it perfect for a speedrun. It's slightly dull in the beginning. There's not really much going on for the first 2 minutes. Essentially, we're meeting up with Tails. What for? I'm not sure. It's been many years since I've actually watched any of the cutscenes save one in this game, so I don't remember much of the lore. But we're going to be going into the first mission in the game called Mission 1, and it is an extremely riveting storyline mission. Essentially, this man, he made shoes. He is a shoemaker. So he's giving us shoes to test out. And once we complete this mission, we're going to have done it so good that he lets us keep his shoes. Very riveting. Essentially, for the mission, you just jump through a bunch of hoops. Alright. There we go. No, I missed one. Okay, whatever. Alrighty, I'm going to reset that. I really should probably not reset that, but whatever. Yeah, David, if you're here, it might get a little repetitive until I get past Wave Ocean. Alright. Welcome everyone to Sonic Story No MSG. My name is Gassler, and this is my submission run for Power with Pride. So essentially, this run... Now, Sonic 6 has a reputation. It has the reputation for being by far the best Sonic game that's ever been made. Rightfully so, because the game is beautiful. Now, the storyline's a little weird. I'll give it that. There's a decent amount of loading screens, sure. But what you do in this speedrun, things you'll never see in any other speedrun, because of how broken the game is. It is beautiful.
If you see a mark above the head of some...
So I don't truly know much about the lore or anything. I haven't watched any of the cutscenes since probably like 10 years ago. I've watched one cutscene, and it's the most iconic cutscene, which we will not unfortunately see in this run. But, oh hey Flipper, what's up? Yeah, so I don't know much about the lore. This part, we're meeting up with Tails, I don't know why. And we're about to go into the first mission of the game. And the mission, it's very riveting stuff. So essentially, whoops, this guy, Robert, he is a shoemaker. He makes shoes. And we're essentially we're going to be testing out his shoes for him. And at the end of the mission, since we did such a good job, we actually get to keep the shoes free of charge. So, you know, very important. And we unfortunately need to get through this mission. Theoretically, we don't, but only one person has ever been able to skip this mission. And never in a run because of it is so hard to do. Whoop. Alright. And that's about it. 13 seconds long. And now we get to keep the guy's shoes. And my loads seem to be... Actually, I think I have fast loads. It's possible I might have fast loads. I might have just a little bit better. So the loading times in this game are really weird. So obviously you can see there's a lot of loading screens. But the loading screens are semi-random. And then there's some instances where you can actually... The loads will just be about 30 seconds faster over the course of the entire run. Which We don't really know why. We have a couple theories. One of the theories is the fact that if we overheat the Xbox slightly, it'll make it go faster for some reason. Alright, so the first trick in here is one of my favorite tricks, just because right off the bat it's in the beginning and it shows you just how broken the physics in this game is. So what you want to do is you're going to homing attack this pillar. And then you want to get back onto the loop. Get to about this spot. Aim for the cave right over here, and then you're going to pause buffer. Hit A and the pause button at the exact same time, and then you will shoot all the way to over here, skipping about 30 seconds of gameplay. Optimally, you want to hit the cave. I did not hit the cave, but that's okay, because you can just do a quick backup like this. So essentially why that trick works is the pause buffering makes Sonic miss the homing attack where he was predestined to hit. He was supposed to hit the loop, but we caused him to miss that. And whenever Sonic misses the target that he's trying to homing attack, he will just shoot off into space at light speed until he either hits something or dies. And we of course use that to our advantage. So now we're supposed to play a whole section with Tails, but we don't want to do that, and personally I hate Tails, so I'm just going to skip his entire part and just fly all the way over here. And then the Orca is normally supposed to shoot Sonic over here after we hit a switch, but that's just a placement trigger, so we can just place Tails there ourselves and we hit the trigger. Alright, so we're coming up into the first of the 4 Mach speeds in the game. It's one of the times when Sonic will actually go quickly. And essentially, the goal of these, like how you do these Mach speeds fast, or you want to press X in these light trails, and you do not want to hold a direction, because when you get into a light trail without holding a direction, then you will go so much faster than if you were holding a direction. And then obviously the second key to these Mach speeds is just don't get hit. And that's all there is to it. And then all but one of the Mach speeds, that is actually a very easy feat to not get hit. Now what I just did there, I intentionally hit myself. I know it's kind of counterintuitive, since I literally just said don't get hit, but the game has ranks called S ranks. And if you get an S rank, you get an dang it, I missed a jump. You get an extra gold medal after completing the stage. And once you get a gold medal, I already said it wastes 5.5 seconds. So optimally, if you're able to get hits somewhere where it loses less than 5.5 seconds and it will save an S rank, you want to do it. Yeah, I definitely have fast loads. Or maybe that's just, oh no, that's just off, okay. I misunderstood what that meant. Alright, so the trick that we're going to be doing here, so essentially whenever you see a wall or a door, you don't see a wall or a door, because walls and doors do not exist in this game. You can just come up over here, and then you want a homing attack on the last frame of your homing attack as you're falling, and then you'll clip through these walls. Optimally, you want to get it first try each time, but that's extremely hard to do. I've only gotten that twice. So, okay, clips doesn't really matter. Now we're coming up to the worst boss of the game. And this is one of the only areas where RNG can actually mess you up. So, Cerberus has different patterns that he'll go through in the first section of this. And those sections are complete RNG, so you just have to hope and pray for a good one. I got a really good one. Stop and Smith is the best possible pattern, because you are guaranteed to hit each time. And after you hit them the first time, it's very simple after that. This is one of the few instances in this game that you do not use. Whoops, alrighty. Well, that's annoying. Alright. So if that ever happens, then we just have to annoyingly wait for Cerberus to stop running around like an idiot. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. Alright. Optimally, you want to get a 28 there. I got a 20 because Cerberus decided he wanted to play with me a little bit. That's okay. So yeah, for Cerberus, you want to always hit the statues. If you hit him anywhere along the walls, it will deal 25% of the damage. But if you hit him on the statues, then he will do 50% damage. So you can two-shot him there. As annoying as that boss looked right here, it is so much worse in Shadow Story. Like, you will never want to fight him in Shadow Story because there's no statues. So it is so much harder. Alright, so the stage we're coming up on is Dusty Ezra, and this is one of the first time of two that you'll be carrying Elise to a stage. And while carrying Elise, you have an ability to walk on water and sand. Now, this game does have a predefined path for you to take, but because they gave you the ability to literally walk anywhere you want to, we can just skip a lot of the predefined stuff and just walk through the stage normally, or walk through the stage the most optimal way. Remember me trying to get here? Ah, I missed it. I was trying to go for another one of the loop skips, like I did in Wave Ocean. That one's much harder to get, in my opinion. This one is, I mean. Just because it's a pretty tight position you need to be in. Okay, from here it's pretty straightforward. Take the path, jump to the hoop. And then right here is another instance where you want to get hit to avoid an S rank. And then you want a homing attack to the end right here. Normally you're supposed to kill all the enemies and get a switch for a platform to come up, but you can just homing attack there. The devs really thought this through when they were doing all the map design. You see, it's just amazing. Alright, so coming up is by far the easiest boss in Sonic Story. And that's saying a lot, because this boss, when you play this game casually, this is one of the 2 times in this story that will make you rage quit this game. I know it has made me rage quit so many times. But once you know how to speedrun this boss, it gets to the point of 100% consistency, which is unbelievable. And then he says very memorable lines in here as well. Oh, shoot. That's where I talk about the 100% consistency, right? No!
Not now.
And if you do this boss perfectly, you will always get a 25-6-3-3. So oddly enough, I missed one of the homing attacks, but I was able to save it so I still got the best possible time normally.
That was incredible.
And then this boss is one of the instances where it's impossible to avoid an S rank, so you have to sit through the second medal. Alright, so this part here, we're coming up on the best mission in Sonic Story, and I'd argue the second best mission in the entire game, just because the other one's ironic. This one's just funny. So, essentially, we're trying to meet up with Knuckles in the new Soliana town. That's the lore. But the gates are closed, and we have to talk to the captain and essentially, like, I don't know, bribe him to let us in. So we want to talk up to him. It says he's the lieutenant at this point. So, essentially, we're going to be having to go... There's going to be many guards in Soliana, and we have to go... We could go up to each one of them and talk to them, and then they will give us clues about who is actually the captain. And it's actually really tricky to figure out who the captain is, but we have a pretty good way of determining it. It's subtle. You might miss it, but there's a way you can figure out who the captain is. And I found him. So yeah, extremely hard mission. Hardest mission in the game.
That was incredible.
Alright, so now that we persuaded the captain, if you want, after he played his little prank on us, now we can go into New City, and we can meet up with Knuckles. But before we meet up with Knuckles, we have to beat a mission that we just have to kill a bunch of bad guys for. And it's my least favorite mission, because I think it's the hardest. And this time it actually is the hardest, unlike, who's the captain. Okay, what we just bought there is the anti-gravity. Now, normally you're supposed to buy that before Cerberus, and then that's how you will go and talk to the girl, because there's a spring that you can anti-grind under our ball for. But it's faster to do what we did, so we buy the anti-gravity now. Right, and then this mission, it's very straightforward. You just optimally kill enemies. You want to anti-grab all these enemies. You want to hit that enemy into the exploding box right there. So essentially that is what the anti-grab does. You're able to hold X and then you will slide on the ground. You have complete invincibility and you can also kill enemies like it. Ah, man. You want to slide kill that. You want to slide kill all these enemies. And then these green robots are one of the only other instances of RNG because their placement is completely random. 47 is actually pretty good. For my mess ups on the pillars, that's actually pretty good.
That was incredible.
The enemies were relatively nice. You could theoretically get the enemies to be all grouped up at once and then you could actually anti-grav them. Or you could get them completely spread out and you'll have no idea where they are at all. Alright, so now we're going to meet up with Knuckles, and again, it's a really tricky, you have to go really far to get him. Like, you have to travel probably about, like 0.2 seconds to find him. And you enter another loading screen. Alright. There we go. So, in order to get to Knuckles, we need to do a mission where we fought a bunch of enemies. So now, in order to get to White Acropolis, we also have to do a mission in which we have to fight a bunch of enemies. This one's about half the time, though. This one's less than 20 seconds long if you do it optimally. And you start off by just spin dashing into that robot, and then from there you just tackle these guys. Oh, lag. Okay. Usually don't go like that. Alright. That was an okay one. I should get a 19 if I'm right? Yeah, 19.2. That ending there, I have actually proven to be RNG. Because when I went onto videos and I like slowed them down enough so that we could actually like see how quick the ending is, like after you kill the last robot, and it ranged by a variance of 0.6 seconds. So that time that I got, it was a 19.2. That theoretically could have been a 19.8 or an 18.6, depending on how good the RNG was there. Which, by how bad my mission was, I say that's actually pretty good RNG. Alright, so now we're coming up on White Acropolis, and this section is one of two that he's like using a boarding technique. This time on a snowboard, next level is going to be on a piece of metal scrap. But we're going to be introducing a trick called a speed cap glitch, where normally you hold A and you shoot off a ramp, but if you just press A, he will glitch back down onto the ramp and retain the speed, and we're going to do that here as well. And now we're going about 3 times the speed as Sonic would normally be going, and it is really difficult to control him. Okay, last time I recorded a mission run I died here, and if you hit any of those snowballs, it is rest in peace because you will get glitched and you will have to reset the stage. You saw a flag in place. And normally you have to jump here, but considering the speed that we're going at, we can just fall off and no harm done. Alright, so now we're going to be doing another glitch. Now normally you're supposed to play as Tails and you're supposed to go around and you have to go back as Sonic. But remember, like I said, I don't like Tails. I really don't want to do that, and Sonic is very lazy. So what he's just going to do is he's going to go up to his lasers, and since walls don't exist, he can just go through. And a stage that normally takes around 3 minutes to solve is finished in 1:15. Because Sonic can go through the lasers. Oh, this game's great.
Too easy. No sweat.
Alright. I have no idea what my splits are comparing to whatsoever. Alright, so now we're entering Crisis City, which I'd say is probably my least favorite stage in the game, just because it's probably the most terrifying. So we're going to be doing another speed cap glitch, and this speed cap glitch is a lot more scary because it's not that the controlling it is hard. Controlling it is actually really simple. It's getting it that's hard. If you don't slow down enough or you do it too fast, you will miss the speed cap glitch, and if you miss the glitch right here, you will die. Okay, I got it because I slowed down enough. But if you miss that, you will just fall into the pit right. That was right behind me. So yeah, controlling it isn't too bad. There's only one part that you have to worry about, and I shall not speak of the name of it until I pass it. Ooh, okay. If you hit that rail, you lose like 10 seconds. So you don't want to do. Okay, I just passed the part. If you hit that worm, if you do not have a high enough speed cap, because the speed cap can vary depending on how fast you go into it, and if you have a slow speed cap and you hit that worm, it is an automatic death. That is the worm of death, is the name of it. Alright, so we're going to be doing a cool homing attack whiff here, but it's a homing attack whiff that Sonic will lock onto a rail. So yeah, Sonic just locked onto a rail beneath him, and yeah, now he's over here.
The whole city's on fire.
And we're going to be doing a trick here that's very easy, but very scary. It's called clench jump, and you'll see why, because you want to clench for it. It's right here. It looks a lot scarier than it actually is, but if you miss it, you die. So that's why it's very terrifying to do. This is just an automated section, nothing next to it. Alright, right here, you want to just, whoop. Alright, that was slow. And you want to optimally kill these enemies, like I just did. You have to wait a long time to actually homing attack this, because there's actually invisible walls there. Okay. And then from here on out, it's just an automated section. And coming up, this is by far the easiest part of the stage. And it's like a nice kind of break, you could say, because you go from a hard section to an easy section, and after that is the most RNG intensive, horrible part of this entire speedrun, and has caused many people to rage quit casually, including myself many times. This is kind of cool. You can just homing attack the side of that and just casually walk up. Why? I have no idea. Why does anything happen in this game? Honestly, with the amount of things we do in this game, it's like the devs did not playtest this game at all. Alright, the Crisis City Mach Speed. The most RNG intensive part of the entire run, where the game just says, let's take every item that we can find and throw it at you at high speeds in no particular order in a random fashion. You could play this stage perfectly. Okay, that was my fault there. But you could play this stage perfectly, and then the tire will come out and clip you, and you will die, having not seen it before, and it disappears right after you see it. So you just got killed by a ghost, essentially. Okay, see, like, I have no idea why I got hit there. And now that just made me really slow. Right, so this is another area where you want to get hit. Okay, good, I got hit. And that's the best part to get hit at. Because if you do not get hit, you will S-rank. And that will lose actually more than 5.5 seconds. Because of how laggy the game actually is at the end, you'll lose more. You'll lose like 7 seconds. I'm trying to open a water bottle. Okay. Trying not to spill it on myself, because that would be less than ideal. How did I save time? What am I comparing to? That split was awful. Okay, whatever. I honestly have no idea what I'm comparing to. Alright, Flame Core. This is by far this is my favorite aesthetic stage of the game, just because it's beautiful. Granted, I love like molten magma, molten lava, and fireball shooting from the sky, so maybe that's just me. I like Apocalypse apparently. So you're supposed to take a bunch of ramps there, and it's like a long animated section, but nah. You can just abuse the layout and just skip it. And this is another clinch jump, and it's harder than the one in Crisis City. Oh, I made it. Okay. I almost missed that because I was going really slow there. Oh yeah, and doors don't exist. Remember that? Well, this one you can just walk through. You know? That, what the heck? Okay. So yeah, in every situation except one door, you can always clip through something. Oh, what is going on? Okay. The cycle was off, so that was a little weird, but we're back on track. So, there's only one door in this entire run that we cannot clip through if we want to, and it is literally this door. This door, there is so many collision protections around it that... There's so many collision protections, we can't do anything. But the other door in this level, we can just literally walk through. Every other one, we have to spin dash, we have to homing attack, we have to do something. That one you can literally just walk through. Okay, and yeah, you see all of the like meteorites around you. We call those Cocoa Puffs. You could probably figure out why. And these are complete RNG. You can even get hit up there. Like literally right where that loading zone is, those fireballs still have hitboxes. You can actually get hit there and die before you enter the loading zone at the volcano. I've had it happen to me only once in Silver. And it was during practice, so I never actually had it happen before to me. In an actual like RTA run. So we just homing attack over here. And then we're going to use the anti-grav to do a little trick here where we anti-grav on this wall and we clip through. And since we have invisibility, invincibility, we have invincibility right now, we can just run on this lava without being phased. Flip through this door. Now we're going to be switching to Knuckles. And normally you're supposed to do a really annoying cave part with Knuckles. And then you switch back to Sonic. But, you know, Knuckles, he's kind of a selfish character, I think. That's just what I gained from his personality. So instead, he doesn't want to share the glory, he wants it all for himself. So he's going to come up here, clip through the door, or clip through the wall because walls don't exist. And we're just going to enter this tunnel right here. We're going to get hit to avoid S rank. And we're going to finish the level as Knuckles. And we can move in this result screen with Knuckles, so we can just casually kill him, and nothing happens.
Shoot, I've
still got a ways to go.
He's fine. He enjoys death. That was not a joke that you make. He does not enjoy death. He was just sleeping. Alright. So now we're coming up with another really easy boss to do. And the boss is either easy or hard. If you do it the normal way, it's a walk in the park, there's nothing to worry about. If you do it the hard way, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to lose 50 seconds on this submission run, then you have to essentially fall off the back of one of the platforms and then spin dash into a spin kick right as he's shooting down at you, and you'll hit him. But it's specific timing and a specific angle that you have to do it, and if you miss it, then you waste 50 seconds. So instead, I'm just going to be hitting these glowing balls and waiting for Iblis to be attracted to the glowingness, and then he'll come down, and I hit him. And that's essentially it. And that's the hardest thing that you have to do, is that little jump right there. I just did every time else we spin kick to avoid him hitting us. That's the only time where you actually helmet attack him. So that was the hardest part of this boss. The ending of this is also RNG based, so you can lose 5 seconds to doing absolutely nothing different than what you normally do. Oh shoot. Okay, so we got good RNG in the first hit. I can't tell if we get good RNG or not. Normally with the other strategy, you can always tell by if a platform respawns or not, but using this strategy, I have zero idea how to tell. There is a way, I just don't know it. I can just tell by the timer. So normally this boss takes 5 minutes and you have to wait for him to spawn platforms to walk up to these things. But because of the fact that the developers forgot that we can, you know, walk on lava when we have invincibility frames, so we can just go right to the glowy things right by ourselves. Now we just wait till he actually does spawn the platform because it won't make a difference in the timing. And I don't really care about the ranks I'm getting because S rank, you will S rank this no matter what, so it doesn't matter how many ranks you have. And that's about it. This is the least flashy part of the run. He's coming from that direction, so we want to go over here. Wait for him to destroy everything, and then, yep, there we go. Ooh, so 232, that is actually a really good time without the new strategy, which means I think we got good RNG in every single time, because I was pretty slow on 2 of the hits, which means that was, I think we got the good RNG 3 times in a row. I wonder what the percent chance is for good RNG. I should test that theory. So I don't know if it's 50-50 or not. Oh shoot. I forgot we asked rank. There we go. Alright, so now we're loading back into the town. And we want to buy another item from the shop. It's called the bounce bracelet. And essentially, I mean, you just press X while you're in the air and you will bounce down. You only use it like once in this run, I think. As far as I can remember, I think you only use it once in this run. And that's for Egg Genesis. You're required to use it for Egg Genesis. So we have to get it. Oh, nice. Normally you have to bounce through it twice. I got like a specific angle or something, I really have no idea why, but I just instantly clipped through it, which is awesome. I love that. This is the only stage in the game where you actually have to semi-speedrun, because we're actually fighting the clock. The train, if it hits any of the explosive boxes, then we instantly lose because Elise is on the train, and apparently her dying is actually detrimental to the storyline. So we I guess need to save her. So we do just optimally, essentially. We're going to go less optimally here because I'm just going to be careful. And then the developers decided to put a robot here, so if we just hold A, we can just homing attack up. And we just skip like 7 seconds of fatal those, which is nice. Second switch is here. You can actually clip through every single one of those doors. However, if you do so, then you don't kill the explosive boxes and you at least dies. In ILs, you can just checkpoint abuse. But in RTA, you do not want to die because we don't care about the IL timer. We just care about the split timer.
I go on top of the train instead of being on the rails.
Alright, this door we actually can clip through.
Those enemies seem to be protecting that cage for some
It's a
reason.
specific angle, there we go.
First.
Alright, so this is the third of the max speeds. It's second easiest, I would say. After the Kingdom Valley one that we'll be doing later.
Elise's train is...
Actually, no, Wave Ocean is easier. We're going to be doing a trick here called Ramp Skip. This is a setup found by Focus Sight, and it makes the trick very... It makes the trick very easy
Elise's train is...
if you do it right, which I did not do. It's a very consistent setup. It's just I completely failed at it. Alright, that's what I was supposed to do. And then from here on, it's just taking the ring trails and not holding a direction. Unless you need to. And then in order to avoid an S rank here, you do want to get hit, but for some reason, when you jump into this, you get hit. So, you know, there we go. 151, that's alright. Minus the 17-second death, but we're not going to talk about that.
Just made it.
Alright, so the boss that's coming up is normally what makes or breaks the run. We're going to be using a trick called Rock Launch, where we spin and kick at a precise speed on a rock at a specific angle, and then we can ride the rock upwards in order to allow ourselves to get on top of Egg Genesis. And then we're going to use a specific setup to allow us to stay on top of Egg Genesis after we hit him for his first cycle, to stay on him for a second cycle. So let's just hope that I can get that quickly. Sometimes takes a couple of times to get to Rock Launch. Okay, I got Rock Launch first try, good. Okay, and we want to go over here, bounce on the fourth missile. Get hit. And then you want to get the ring. I missed the ring, okay. The ring bounced off, so normally you want to get that ring back and then do a certain bounce rate to set up so that you can get hit again and stay on him for a third cycle, which would save about 15 seconds. The ring bounced off, so I'm not able to get the triple cycle, what we would normally have called it. But we still got normal Egg Genesis, and we also got a first try, which is nice. I'm spin kicking those in order to try hitting Egg Genesis with one of the rocks. I missed all of them, but you can hit him with the rock, and it'll just save one hit. Alright, and that's the end of Egg Genesis. Alright, and then you always have strength, so it doesn't matter how many rings I have. You can just go wherever you want. Spin kick this rock. Aw, it didn't let me spin kick a rock. Whoa, 113. Dang. That is actually a really good time for just normal Egg Genesis.
Incredible.
That's probably my best time with that triple cycle. Oh, whoops. Forgot we had strength. Alright, so now we're coming up on the only other time that Sonic will carry his human girlfriend. And we're allowed to... Well, how we are supposed to do it is because we're able to walk on water by holding down right trigger. So we just homing attack spam down across this lake. And normally, this stage has a really annoying trick that if you miss it, you die. I do a cop-out strategy. It wastes like 1.5 to 2 seconds, but you get 100% of the time, so I think it's worth it. We're supposed to go inside that log. We just choose nah, so we don't. So we want to optimally go around these boxes and hit these springs. Go up here, homing attack onto this, and then this is where if you're supposed to homing attack off, but it's a very precise timing, and if you miss the timing, you will just sink like a rock, and you cannot move, and you will die. So me homing attacking early to stay on the vine for a second cycle allows 100% consistency. We're just gonna hit this guy. We're gonna homing attack to here, homing attack the spring. Attack this guy. And then automated section where Sonic Elise want to do a bungee dive. And now we're going to be doing a trick very similar to the one in Flame Core, where I'm holding the anti-grav and I clip out right here. And do not move. If you move, you will die. There is so many death planes around this area. So you have to not move in order to make it work until you see like the screen become fuzzy. Once that happens, you're safe from the death planes. Now, believe it or not, this section right here that's coming up has a specific like way that it wants you to take. But similar to Dusty Desert, it gave us the ability to walk on water, so we can just do whatever we want, and we decided to take the most optimal route. I'm holding the camera down, by the way, just because the stage is incredibly laggy, which is good for ILs, but not good for RTA, so we don't want to have any lag. And holding the camera down makes us not have any lag. I get hit there to avoid S rank, and there we go. Alright, so remember earlier when I said I don't like Tails? Unfortunately, we have to play Tails. Now, Sonic's story is considerably longer than every other story, being Silver and Shadow, because of the fact that Tails, because it decides, you know what, we played Wave Ocean, but we only gave Tails just a very small portion of Wave Ocean, and we really feel bad for him. So what we want to do is we want to give Tails another go at it, let him do the stage on his own, show him that he doesn't need Sonic. So we have to replay Wave Ocean. Which is kind of a shame because there's a really annoying trick in the beginning that I'm bad at. I get it with like 75% consistency, which is not good for a speedrun.
Oh, he's on that battleship? Wait up, we're coming!
It's right here. We have to hit it at a certain angle. Did I get it? Yeah, I got it. Okay, good. And you can just shoot off this way, skipping a very large section. I'm going to try a trick here called Wike's Pole. If we land on Wike's Pole, yes we did, okay. Now this is actually slower than doing like the normal route, but it's a lot more consistent. So I tend to take it even though it's technically slower than the other way of doing it. There's actually, if you hit that ramp at a certain angle, you will just shoot off and miss that spring and you'll just die. Which is really irritating. So what we want to do is hold A through this part and then continue holding A, let go of A, and just angle Tails and he'll just fly down to there. And then the ending is very similar to Sonic's story. You see his Tails, you fly over here, but this time you can land on the rock because you're higher up. And then you want to fly all the way up here and then hit the metal. This stage is very easy if you can get that first trick. If you miss that first trick, then it becomes annoying because you either die or you just waste time. So here is where the game becomes broken. Because we get what are called gems. And we get 3 gems. Normally people only get 2. I get 3 because the final boss I use a setup for it that needs the 3rd gem because there's my muscle memory. And also there's a really cool trick in Kingdom Valley called Castle Skip. It's a good idea. You should always do it. I'm not going to be doing it, but trust me, it's good. That needs green gem too. So blue gem will let you have a burst of speed.
Probably go to the ancient castle. Let's get there.
Red gem allows you to slow down time by 50%. And green gem will spawn a small tornado. Now be careful with this guy. Okay. With that guy, what's really weird about him is if you run up to him too fast, you bump into him, you stop a little too close to him, or you sneeze next to him, he will do a full-on barrel roll out of the way, wasting 7 seconds because he wants to show off his mad skills. And you can be walking as slow as you possibly can. You can be 5 feet away from him, and you can still make him do the barrel roll. So that is one of the most stupid ways you can lose time in this game, just by knocking over an NPC. Okay, I'm going to do a trick here called spin dash into a blue gem, and you literally just spin dash into blue gem. And there's blue gem in action. And then you're supposed to go through a bunch of portals and stuff. There's 3 portals you have to take, and you have to memorize the route and stuff. That's why it's called a trial of intelligence. But I'm going to use, as said by Triple Agent in his GDQ run, we are going to outsmart the trial of intelligence. And we just go run around, we hit the final spring, and boom, we're done. 9.5 seconds.
That was incredible.
Alright, the one coming up is the bane of every new runner's existence. It is the Trial of Courage. Now, this trial, you have to kill a bunch of enemies. However, the catch is, you have to kill them with 0 rings. So if you get hit, you die, and you have to load out. The guy will tell you failed, he makes fun of you, and then you have to reload in. So it wastes about 60 to 90 seconds, depending on where you die. So you don't want to die. Normally for Trial of Courage, I just go into a zone where I don't pay attention to the game much. I just calm, collective. I'm going to do a trick here that's called light bounce. So you just want to do this setup. You want a homing attack right down here, and then you bounce bracelet into one of the not loading areas, but into an area that you can just attach to the wall. Nope. Okay, I almost messed that up. Oof. Okay. You can see why this stage is really bad. Because if you do one slight mistake, you're dead. It took me so long to pass this stage casually. And it took me so long to be able to not lose a minute in my speedruns because of this stage.
That was incredible.
Alright. So next up we're doing something that's very important, not necessarily to the plot of this game, because no matter what you pick, even though it says it's important and it'll impact something later, it doesn't. We're going to be determining who we love most. Now we can choose to love Amy, the hedgehog that's always been there for us, who loves us unconditionally, will always be there for us. Or we can choose the princess that we met on this day, who we don't know at all, and is a human. So, naturally, we picked the human. Now, I'm actually not going to, since... What the heck happened there? I don't know what happened there. I buffered the red gem somehow. That was a little slow, but normally you want to pick Amy just because she's the faster. It doesn't really matter either way, but you can pick Elise. But I believe it is a cardinal sin to do so. A human and a hedgehog. Oh shoot, I forgot to split. Okay. Whoops. Alright, so now we're going to take this to this eagle and take to the skies. And Tails is already up here because he can fly. And he just watched us down there, laughing at us, making us do all of that, making our confess our love to someone, while he can just fly up here, it's all casually. You know, he could have taken us with, but he decided, nah, let's make our friends suffer. Like every good friend does. Alright, so for Kingdom Valley, there's a long section that the game wants you to take, but because of the fact that, you know, this game is cool, we can just skip past that automated section and just fall down here. Avoid these enemies. Now there's a strat right here you can do. I'm not 100% consistent at it, so I'm not going to do it. You want to jump over here, homing attack that rope, which I died to in PvP. Of every stupid way to die, that's where I died. Right, and you want a blue gem up here.
Let's try going up.
You can take this. Okay, I missed it. Whoop. I was trying to attach to a ring tree down there. I missed it. And right here is a trick called eagle skip. So you want to set it up here, jump without holding a direction, and then jump, and you hit it. If you hold a direction there, you will die. You will miss it every single time. You have to not hold a direction. Why? I don't know. So normally right here, we're supposed to play as Silver, but Silver is slow as heck. So you know what? I don't want to play as Silver. I'm just going to exploit the map and attach up here. Oh shoot, okay. I have to actually be very careful here now, okay. Normally we're supposed to land up there, but I missed it. There's a blue gem drawing. That's alright. It's savable.
Hey, not bad.
Right, and then that's the end of Silver section, which is Sonic section. Alright. I just love how I can just casually drink water just in the middle of every loading screen. You can just get up, do anything you want, go to the bathroom, you know, do anything you want during these loading screens. Alright, so again, doors don't exist. So we can just go up to here, spin dash through, and hey, we're free.
Looks like I've got to defeat it first.
I'm gonna play it safe here, which it really tears me up inside to do. You can bounce brace it down onto this and it saves like 1.5 seconds. It's awesome, but if you miss it, you die. So I understand why people might see it as not worth it. Dang it, I missed the ring trail. Okay. So up here is where castle skip would be, but I only get it with like 50% consistency, so I don't really want to do it now. I'm going to do it in the race when I do it at Power's Pride, but I'll be more consistent at it by then. So normally you're supposed to homing attack an eagle, green gem at one of the pillars down, a red gem while walking on the pillar while it's falling, and then attach to one of the areas that Sonic would normally attach to on a wall.
Gotta be careful not to fall off here.
Okay, right here you want to spin dash into blue gem again, side to this, blue gem down this one, because now you never want to blue gem down this one, because if you bonk, you cannot recover from it and you will die 100% of the time. Alright, and now we're going to do a really cool clip here, where I will spin dash into this door, and I'll blue gem through right when I get to the edge, without holding a direction. And now is the easiest max speed in the game, where you can kind of sit back and relax. Now, you should never get cocky in this game, because if you ever get cocky, if you ever just like believe that, oh yeah, I got this in the bag, you will die. Never fails. It has happened to me before, it will happen to me again. You can just never be safe in this game. But it's very straightforward. You just optimally take the ring trails. There's really nothing much to it. After you get past that beginning stage where you jumped onto the waterfall, and it's kind of interesting. In every single instance of this game, if you touch water, even very slightly, if you dip your toe in 1 millimeter of water, you will die. But for some reason, when gravity does not affect the water, Sonic decides, you know what? You know, gravity is really what was killing me. If I didn't have any gravity, I wouldn't die. So you can just run perpendicular to gravity, and you don't die.
Just ate it.
Alright. Alright, so now we're in Soliana again, and we have to enter the super secret underground base. Now, normally, if you want to have a super secret base, what's the one place that you think would be the best to keep a secret? You are correct. It is in the middle of the town, wide open to everyone to see, guarded by a simple see-through gate. I know that's what you said, so that's why you're correct. So yeah, in order to activate it though, you have to go and hit every single one of the bells. And essentially, the trick for this stage, just don't bonk. Bonking loses a second, and it's a very simple part of the run. So just don't bonk, and you will be fine. Okay, I fell, so I have to do the semi-quick backup. Doesn't really lose that much time in all honesty. Maybe 2 seconds, it's nothing much. This part you can blue gem, I choose to because I am a risky boy, but generally don't want to out there. Now we're going to buy something called the Sky Gem, and it is the most broken gem in the game because it allows you to freaking teleport. Why the devs thought a gem that allows us to teleport in this game? Let's do it. Oh, wait, what? Okay, so apparently I missed my Sky Gem throw. I threw the Sky Gem there so that I wouldn't have to throw it a pop, but apparently I missed it, so I have to do it again. Alright, so this is Aquatic Base. Aquatic Base is a really cool stage because it showcases basically everything you can do with gems, and it takes immense skill to get good at it, which I do not have. So I am not good at this stage. The IL record for the stage is 207. My best time is a 222. I consistently get 230s runs. So I am awful at this stage. But it's still cool anyway, so you know, I sometimes enjoy it. Sometimes it makes me rage, sometimes I enjoy it. It depends on the minute. So as you can see, like, you have to blue gem through these halls if you want to do it optimally. And that's where you could be messed up, because you can, if after you bonk, you can just chain bonks, and you just 1 second loss turns into 10. So you just have to be really careful. So this is the first showing of the Sky Gem in all of its glory. You can just clip through that. You can just go up to that, use the Sky Gem to teleport, and now we're going to teleport into the Shadow section of the run. Now we're back in the Sonic section, and normally we play as Tails here, but nah, I'm just going to Sky Jump through this door and just go teleport right to the end of the stage, and we are done with the first section. That section normally takes about 3 minutes. Like using no speedrun strats, I just beat it in a minute. This game is glorious. Power of the Sky Gem. Alright, we just want to hit these enemies. Optimally, you hit that enemy into the exploding barrel, the exploding box. I'm bad, so I didn't get it. That's alright. Sky Gem over here. I see, okay, I bonked there. That was my first bonk of the run so far. But it probably won't be my last. Hopefully it is, but we'll see. This room is really irritating. You want to hit that and you want a homing attack? Okay, good. Because sometimes you can hit the like magnetic balls in there, and if you do, you're in for a world of hurt because it's really hard to recover from them, and they're really slow. So now we play as Knuckles again, and just for a little short time. He just wants to be in the spotlight again. He's feeling left out ever since Flame Core. Hit the switch. Now we're back to Sonic. Sky Gem up here, and then we're going to do a cool trick here. We're going to walk behind the robot. Homing, oh whoops, I missed. Okay, homing attack backwards, my attack back onto there, and then we're up here without having to kill the robot. Sky jump clip. Then we want to get hit here to avoid the S-frame. And we don't have to worry about getting hit here because you have iframes. And this is going to be a 230. Dang, almost sub 230. Alright, nice.
Just made it.
That's actually, that's the fastest time I've ever gotten in an RTA, which is pretty sad, but you know. Alright, so now is Egg Wyvern. Now, I'm just gonna say for reference, this boss usually takes about, the world record is 3 minutes, but normally it takes like 5 to 6 minutes. However, we're going to do something that I'm not going to explain. I'm just going to show in all of its glory. I'm probably going to miss it first try, but second try is usually when I get it. So you'll see. Oh, I got it first try. Come on. No, I missed the... Oh, shoot. Oh, crap. Okay, I'm going to die. Dang it. Dang it. I think I might have just... I might have actually just choked. Oh my gosh. What? Okay, that was what was supposed to happen. Okay, I didn't choke PB. PB was already dead. Alright, so... that was supposed to be a really cool, you know, showcase of it. Didn't happen because I messed it up, but yeah, as you can see, we beat the boss in 7 seconds if I didn't mess it up. So I guess I'll explain it now. So essentially what I did there was I switched to the red gem to slow time down. I spin dashed forward, then I jumped out, I switched to sky gem, I threw the sky gem, I went back to red gem so that the sky gem was still falling slowly. Then I homing attack and I actually hit the hitbox of the sky gem. After I hit that, I'm able to hold A, get enough height, and then homing attacks Wyvern's Horn. The sky gem will teleport me back down to Earth, and then we jump off the side, sky jump the wall, and shoot up into the load zone. Everything in this game we understand. We understand why every trick happens. Except this one. We really have no idea why Wyvern does this. Because really, there's nothing in the code that we can see makes sense of this. It just happens. Which just shows that if you can change a 6-minute boss into a 6-second boss, this game is beautiful. And this game is relatively consistent. I can easily get consistent sub ones. So there's no chance of it going overestimate or anything. So yeah, I hope I showcased this game pretty well. It was overall a really good run. Only 30 seconds off my PB, which is... this is kind of saying something, because the beginning started off kind of iffy. But, you know, all good, all good. And yeah, I hope you select this game for Power with Pride Marathon, because it is a beautiful game that deserves the utmost respect from everyone, I think. So, see you all later.